Bill Henshaw here again, your friendly local constitutional coop from California. And a lot of you may have heard of the issue we've had out here recently with the San Jose University women's volleyball team. And as usual, it's a non-starter. You can't have guys playing on girls' teams. Common sense tells you that, for crying out loud. Even worse, and it's a lot worse, is in order for that to happen, what this idiot Taylor had to do was invoke civil rights. And that comes directly from what I can prove is the non existent 14th War Amendment. And it has no place at all in the constitutional law and the original intent of those racist framers. Nothing to do with that. Never existed. And I've got a whole document that I have of a brief you can file in your case on the 14th Amendment that proves it not only doesn't exist, it never did. It was contemporaneously ruled unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court. And that's where we have to go to get back to things. So that amendment changed the whole ballgame. And all it has in there is what I call birthright citizens. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That amendment has been loosely held by the U.S. Supreme Court, and they've been very complicit in this, and I hope that changes in a hurry. But the big deal there was that the secret intent of that amendment was to create that corporate citizenship, and getting my modestly priced constitutional defense document package. So we say that with attitude and with authority. It's not there. It never has been. And that's what they think all of you are out there, or what I call jus soli, citizenship by soil, just foreign state, subordinate, corporate, nay, dead citizens. And if you're dead, you ain't got no rights to you. There's no point having it. It's just absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. But that's what the New York bankers had planned with that amendment and with Reconstruction. And really, it goes back to the formation of the Constitution itself, finding ways to get around it. And the good news is that the current justices on the court know this as well as I do right now. And with the result of the recent quote unquote election, they're going to be there for a while, 10 to 12 years, maybe more. And they should be starting to put the pedal to the metal out there, Justices Thomas and Gorsuch, if you're listening, and make rulings on this and let the people know what's going on. That's going to just change things in a hurry and take a lot of government out of my hometown of Washington, D.C., and put it back not only to the states, but in places like California and Texas and New York with a lot of population. And really, this should be true in all of them. Most of the government's on the local basis at the county level. Much less expensive, much more efficient, much easier to control. How's that for a triple trifecta of truth? And that's what it is that we want to do and get rid of all this nonsense. And like I say, the bottom line is when they're invoking LTGBQ BS from the 14th Amendment, that's federal regional martial law rule. That's why the flags you see have the yellow fringe around the flag. That's a military standard. That's where they think we are, the New York bankers and a lot of their agents in the government. And they don't recognize any rights. Trial by jury, forget about it. Common law, forget about it. I mean, it's not the habeas corpus permanently suspended. You'll learn all of this. None of it makes any sense. We want our nation and republic back. And if that happens, everybody benefits. It's hard to even put it into words, but when you think about how ridiculous all this is getting, because of this 14th Amendment crap, and to you gay types out there, what I'm saying is, you can pick your own lifestyle, enjoy your lifestyle, but you don't get any official support from government for it unless or until the Constitution is amended in accordance with that document, Article 5 in particular thereof. That's a whole nother matter. But I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep waiting for that to happen either. But you're free to do what you want. I mean, it's an odd lifestyle, no question about it. Uh, but as long as you don't have any, government machine guns behind you when you walk down the street or in the classroom or wherever, that's okay. And think how crazy this is in school. You have 9-year-old kids crying out loud that are absolutely incompetent to do anything, and yet they're telling the creator of love, hey, God, when I was born, you made an error. I wasn't born a boy, I was born a girl, and it should be the reverse. Now, the way I read the Bible, God upstairs isn't, what you would call a person that makes a lot of errors like that. It just doesn't happen. And that's the other bottom line is all this stuff is atheistic in addition to the military rule that we're dealing with. And atheists are always easier to control than those who have creator endowed inalienable rights. And when we get back to where we should be, all of us will have them. And no, you Asians and Africans aren't going to get part of the sovereign body politic, but you sure as hell aren't now. There isn't one. And if we get back to where we should be, there are lawful ways for that to occur. Probably an issue at my age I won't be dealing with, but it can be done. But the big deal here is for you Asians and Africans, now you have, rights secured by, among other things, Article 2 of the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, even to inhabitants of territories. And that's the right to trial by jury and habeas corpus, and maybe a lot more than that. And with those rights, now you can't have these law enforcement thugs going around here like they did in Akron, Ohio, shoot Jalen Walker like 60 times in the back during the course of a traffic stop over which the court would not have had jurisdiction, and nobody even gets indicted for involuntary manslaughter for turning out loud. This has to stop. And they're doing it this way. A lot of these law enforcement folks, by the way, a lot of them are ex-military. That's the very last thing of a requirement for a peace officer, but it fits like a glove for a law enforcement thug. And if they've been in the military, especially in the Marines, who knows what mind control stuff that they're planning on to make it do things that they would probably never dream of on their own. But the government can make it happen, and as usual, it's black on white. Or I should say white on black more properly, and that's the way it's been going since George Floyd and Jalen Walker and Sinead Okobe and Breonna Taylor. I mean, you name it. Black victims, white perpetrators. That has to stop too, and it will, because they're all going to have rights, and now they're going to be liable for this. And you go around and do what you did with Jalen Walker in Akron, Ohio, all your asses are going to be out there in your proximity in cell 2455 in San Quentin on death row. That's what's supposed to happen. And we could all work together and make it happen. And we have a Supreme Court that knows everything I'm saying right now. That's the exciting part. Because they've been complicit themselves for over 100 years. But now they're in their fifth term of an all-out assault on the administrative state, which causes all of us so much trouble. I'll be talking in other videos about that. And the justices on the court know it, and I'll get you familiar with some of their very recent rulings. And they're going to make that go away even quicker now with Trump back in office and with control of the Senate. Because now that conservative court's going to be there for 10 to 12 years and maybe more than that. And now what are the Democrats going to do? Oh, finally. So it's good news all the way around. So that's that goodness. I should have mentioned my email. Send me an email, uncourt@gmail.com, for crying out loud, for information about my modestly priced materials and other videos and this, that, and the other. Tell your friends, get the word out. The quicker we start acting and work together across the boards, all of us, white, African, Asian, you name it, the sooner we get these people out of our faces, and we get back to leading a comparatively normal life. And when that happens, the sky is the limit. So send me an email, uncourt@gmail.com, and we can go from there. Thank you.